This is going to be a little bit different bank reconciliation. It's kind of a modern bank reconciliation, the way that we do things now. So this is going to be an electronic PDF type of thing. So the first uh, opening that you get is what type of exercise is this? What skill is it testing? This is a TBS that you would see, and it would identify what you're going to do. So you're going to reconcile the cash balance per bank to the book, general ledger. Investigate any unreconciled balances to determine whether an adjustment is required. Okay, so in our account here, we have Read the Stars Astrology is a popular video YouTube channel. The proprietor is Neville. He creates content and hosts member meetups for educational purposes on the topic of astrology. The YouTube partner income is net of commissions and fees. Neville has a private reading service that is his main income. He books those appointments on Google Meet and receives payments through PayPal. So all of his payments are made and posted on the same day. None are in transit. His expenses are mostly paid by a debit point of sale transactions and are posted immediately to the bank account. Neville only needs to add the general ledger account number to classify the journal entry from cash. Fewer checks are written as most disbursements are electronic web or EFT payments. Neville reconciles the bank monthly and it is reviewed by the accounting manager. Okay, that's our instruction page, and we see that we have some exhibits, a future bank statement, a general ledger, a memo, and the prior bank reconciliation. So those are the things that we need to reconcile this. So let's move on to our data. What's the first thing we need to do? We need to find our answer sheet. Okay, so our answer sheet comes in from an Excel type file, and we need to put our bank reconciliation in here. The first thing we need to do is look at the prior bank reconciliation. So we pull that PDF up on the screen and we say, did our prior bank items clear? So I'm looking for a check number 117 for 129. Yes, that one cleared. So we have no checks outstanding there. So my prior bank reconciliation has cleared its things that we only clear from the bank side. Okay. Now I need to look at the bank side of things, and I'm going to put in the statement balance, and I'm going to type this into my answer form. And next thing I'm going to do is look for deposits and transits and checks outstanding. I'm not likely to find too many, but those checks outstanding could still be something to contend with because last month we had to contend with somebody. So we have to do a comparison of general ledger checks to clearing checks. So I see I've got check number 1023, that's cleared. Check number 1024, that's cleared. 1025 has cleared. So we're going from general ledger to our bank to see if there's anything that has not cleared. Sure enough, check number 1027 for $50 has not cleared. 1028 has cleared. Here's 1028 for the office rent. So 1027 for $50 has cleared. Okay, that only clears our checks. We still need to agree in total all these electronics because electronically something can post and even post down to our general ledger and not be valid because they're using these electronic files to post things. So we need to do something with our general ledger. Our general ledger is an Excel file that was provided to us. Okay? So we have an Excel file, so we have the ability to manipulate this. I have book totals at the end. What's a good idea to do? Compare it to bank. Okay? So my bank totals are right here. And if I compare that before I make any adjusting journal entries for anything, all right, I compare my totals. And here's a solution for that. Okay, so if I take my book totals, okay, I've taken my book totals and compared them to the bank totals. So my deposits were the same. There is no difference in the deposits. Okay, I take my book total and compare it to the bank total of withdrawals, and I see that I have $779 as a withdrawal. Well, wait a minute. My outstanding check was $129, so that's a withdrawal that's not on my books. So I add that back to that book balance, that difference. And the check outstanding is not on here, so I subtract the check outstanding. And I come up with a $700 amount. And then I search my bank statement for that $700 and I find it right here. Okay, $700 on May 26th was charged against my account from subscription membership. I need to investigate that because that was an e-payment. And these are usually things that are authorized ahead of time, like my Duke Energy bill or something like my credit card payments or something like that. I've authorized them ahead of time to be paid. So I'm going to have to investigate the $700 difference and see if we need to make an adjustment for that. Is it a bank error? Let's see. So I have an error correction. I think it's a bank error. Okay. And I reconcile this to 457171. Let's see if my general ledger balance is okay. So my general ledger balance is 4598.94, and I don't have any notes or anything else like that collected. I don't have any NSF checks on the bank. Okay. Okay, on the bank statement, I check the bank statement again. No notes were collected. These were all okay. No NSF checks. Service fee, yes, $27.23. So I subtract that and I get 457171. Okay. So I balance here. I balance with this $700 error correction. Now I have to investigate that error correction. So Neville sends a memo to the accounting manager, Kim, and says, I have a problem with the bank reconciliation for May. There is a $700 charge from subscriptionmembership.com. It's an e-payment, so I'm thinking someone in our organization visited the website. Do you have an authorization for this, or is it a bank error? So there's the question that Neville has directed the accounting manager to help him investigate. With regards, and the accounting manager answers, with regards to the $700 subscription, the website had a free trial over a year ago for a podcast platform for the astrology newsletter. We canceled the free trial and went with Spotify. Somehow the data was not updated at subscription membership, and they use auto update bank files. It's an error, and they will return the funds to us within 30 days. Hope that helps, Kim. All right, so now we have a bank that's reconciled, and we have an error correction that's going to be returned. Remember to use those brackets on that. So we have a reconciled bank, we have an error correction that's going to be returned, and at the moment, we're not going to adjust our books, okay, because it's going to come back to us. So it's $700 is still removed from the bank account, and it's going to come back to us eventually. So we'll have a deposit next month of that reversal. We'll have a deposit to the bank account from subscription membership. Alternatively, we could write and accounts receivable to make sure that we keep track of that company, see if it's honest. All right, this has been an electronic bank reconciliation. The key point to this is to be able to utilize the totals in the book total and the bank total to identify if there are any other errors to analyze. So if you're provided with an Excel of the general ledger to help determine what your outstandings are, this is one way of doing it. And it harkens back to a technique called the 4-column bank reconciliation. All right, thank you very much. This has been Professor Campbell.